number 112. We're starting about a half hour late only because Maddie needed to, finish serving her guest. And I said, you finish serving her and we'll get you on. Julie Mitchell, I was just in your school today and we like slammed it big time, didn't we? We're really excited about this one. Maddie is actually back for an encore. She was with in our 106th episode, and she just crushed it. If you haven't watched that, get on YouTube or get on summitsalon.com and /MC Live. Watch 106 because it was huge. Tonight she's back for 112, and she's been actually she came and spent a couple of days in our home, and we've been working on tying all of the social media content that we've been incubating over the last couple of years, and we put it together in what we're calling innovating the social digital guest experience. And we're tying it right to the Power Wheel because you guys know that big time. That's why it is Big Boom Boom. And the conversation tonight is social digital consultation. We actually did a live demonstration last night about this time, and it was very organic. She had a guest in her chair, and she we were able to capture 10 minutes of a real life consultation. So if you haven't watched that, watch that. So she's back tonight, and I thought we would engage her in a conversation about some the ideas or the principles or the practices that she was demonstrating last night, so that we could turn this into a great tutorial. So keep your fingers crossed. I'm going to go into the green room, get her now, and then when she comes out, you can you'll see how there she is. Give it up for her, will you guys? You're back. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
And I know it's been a long day. Viewers, she did like 13 hours behind the chair. How many guests did you do today?
Oh, I haven't even done my book yet. It was a crazy day. Me and my associate were rocking. We had 4 colors going at the same time, so I'm blessed.
Wow. Well, thanks for giving us a few minutes tonight. Let's jump right into the interview because the what you did last night I thought was truly historical, and I thought what we would do tonight is talk about a few of the principles or the ideas so that people could watch that and get a better understanding, and most of all begin integrating some of what we saw last night into their consultation. So get us going on that first slide, and I'll hold it up as you're talking about it. What this consultation is and how it's different from the traditional consultation.
The consultation is just different in the fact that I added social digital practices. I have a lot of traditional summit ways in there, things that I've learned from my consultant and from Christy, but I wanted to elevate that to make it real time and get a lot of additional feedback out of my different social media platforms. So I always start, everybody can vouch for this. Your client for sure has a phone in their hand when they're coming into the salon. So the screen that you just showed shows it's always 10 minutes. It never takes longer than 15. I have control of the conversation still. With my conversation, I always make sure that I'm including services, including products, or at least setting myself up to explain to them products. I go over timing, and then you can see some of those numbers that my average service ticket when I'm going through these consultations is around $220, and that includes additional services that they weren't scheduled for. I think we just added it up, and it was like 86% more products are sold with these kind of consultations. Me and my front desk just did that the other day. I was excited to see that.
Well, I love how you're, like when you and I did the math on that, inside of that 3-hour window, that's like $400 if you're working with an associate. So this is really, really cool. Now, the next slide I just love, Maddie, because you're really talking about a movement from the way consultations have been done to the way they're being done now. So I'll hold it up and guide us through what that is, what you mean by that.
Yes. So one of the traditional hairstylist conversations when you get a guest in your chair is to say, so what are we going to be doing today? That loses the control. And it also, I kind of give the Burger King analogy. If I go into Burger King, they're going to tell me, or I'm going to say what I want. They're not really going to have a recommendation for me. they're just going to give me exactly what I want. However, if I go to a higher end restaurant, like some can refer to like a Ruth Chris, I'm going to go in and they're going to tell me what kind of wine to pair with and what sides they recommend. Well, that's kind of how I wanted to turn my consultations into, so that I'm gaining the authority right off the bat, the control, and then I know how to go with the rest of the service, and all the business is done right in the beginning. So I'm not intimidated, the client's at ease, and we know how to move forward.
Now, this next slide I just love because, historically, when the few times we did use lookbooks, it was all bets off. But you're making a real interesting comment there. Talk about that one.
Yes. So clients still come in and they want a magazine or a book, or do you have something to show me some of my hairstyling options I have? Well, when we were ordering the books, they already came outdated, or things have changed or moved so fast, and it went from ombre to balayage to now back to highlights or whatnot. So I wanted to create something that updated that, and I brought that forth right up front to add additional quality to my consultation. So they come in with a picture or they don't, but based upon what we're talking about, I have my Pinterest armed with a whole bunch of different pictures, so that I know that we can get right down to it. I can verify that I'm hearing them correctly. We agree on looks. I give them 2 different options, just like I did with Hannah yesterday. I want to make sure it's not the silver that she saw, that I want to make sure that it truly is that natural white blonde, so that me and her are on the same page, because clients don't know what ashy is or what cool is or whatnot.
Right. And what was interesting, one of the coolest things about just watching, if you would have turned the sound down and just kind of watch what was going on, there were times that almost that entire consultation, you had your mobile out, your guest had her mobile out, and you're having communication with each other around the mobile, so that both you and your guest was fully engaged in a digital device. And then you make this, I think, a very profound comment. Today more than 90% of your referrals are bringing in digital pictures. Talk about what that means.
They are, and even since me and you talked this time, or this last time, I feel like clients are not only just bringing in pictures, they're sending them to me through Facebook or Instagram weeks before their appointment. Especially since I've been taking on some of these things. Right now, I'm booked out 8 weeks. You can't get in with me unless it's for just a cancel for 8 weeks. So these guests are really excited to get in by the time they get in. So they're sending me pictures through Facebook, pictures through Instagram. So 90% of my guests already are prepared and armed with the picture. Now I need to be the professional and have additional photos to back up what's right for their face shape, for their lifestyle, for what beginning pictures I'm starting with, or beginning hair I'm starting with.
Which kind of is just a great on-ramp to what this next slide is, where you're saying that you've set up a number of your own file on Pinterest, so when they bring in their Pinterest content, you have theirs and it's already paired up. What, in a nutshell, what's that mean?
Right. So just like again yesterday with Hannah, when she had her own 3 pictures, I again pulled up my Pinterest. It's my professional Pinterest. It's Maddie Stonebreaker hair. And then it's set up into different boards, warm blondes, cool blondes, all those different things. It's advertised on my Facebook once in a while, so my guests can go there. They can easily tag me in photos so that I'm prepared for when they come for their appointment. Or again, I'm set up with a resource that allows me to have a lot of different options, so then I can go in and recommend as a professional what I really think we should do today. Or especially in color corrections, I'm going to tell them what's realistic, and this is where we are going to get today, not to that picture.
And then I loved how you even have put almost like script guides into your teaching now, that you'll have a guest come in, show me a picture, want to begin talking about it, and then how you control that conversation. What's this slide about? Because I saw you do that with Hannah last night.
Yes. So Hannah has been reaching out to me through Facebook. So I got to see her profile pictures, some of her additional pictures before it, and have an idea of what I think she's worn in the past, based upon what she said. So I was prepared for her. But a lot of times, I do a lot of repeat guests. So in that, just to make them feel special, for example, I have Lisa tomorrow, and I've already prepared just a few pictures thinking it's summer, we're going to want to go lighter. So I say, hey, Lisa, I'm really excited. Do you have anything in mind today? And she'll say, well, what do you think? And I'll immediately pull up pictures, and she already feels so much more special that I have prepared for her, thought about her, and have some ideas for her. Nice. So I use my Pinterest in that way as well.
And then when you and I were chatting, you said there's times where you're doing a lot of color correction. And how are you using that as it relates to what the people are seeing on this slide?
Yes, so that's another great tip for Pinterest. And I teach this to my coworkers as well. So many people come in with a picture and they have no idea what is put in to get to that, especially if they had box color red or whatever they came in, but they have high expectations. I immediately bring them down to a realistic level with Pinterest and say, this is what I can achieve today. Now, is it more important for you to be on a cooler, ashy side, or is it more important for you to be brighter? These are the two things that I'm comfortable with saying we can achieve today. And so it gives them a visual to know what to expect.
And I also saw that if your guest beats you to the punch and pulls out a picture, you have a real gracious way of directing that conversation. Here, I'm quoting you now. I love this picture, but let's table it for a couple of minutes. And it's at your way of guiding, because you know where you need to take the guest inside of that 10-minute consultation.
Yes, everybody wants to immediately show you the picture, and that's where it gets to that Burger King way of thinking where they're going to just order a picture and this is what they're going to take today. Well, me as your stylist, I want to know what your issues are, what your pros and cons are of your hair. Is it dry? Because if I just let Hannah show me her picture yesterday, we would have just went straight into going blonde, and I wouldn't have known that she feels heavy and dry and those other problems that now I can totally base my products around that, additional services, and grow that service ticket that much higher.
And then, you're using language right out of a little over the top, because you're saying that in a consultation, you're finding the difference between what they have and what they want, and that's really your concept of a problem, so that you can begin presenting looks as to what you need to been able to correct that. So that's got over the top written all over it.
Yes.
Then there's this next slide that once you have a problem, how is it? Here it is. Once you've kind of identified this, it's a wonderful little pivot or on-ramp where you begin now talking about wish lists and the look, tailored look. Now we go into solution. And I noticed that you've got both services and product there.
Yes. So one of my biggest tips tonight or yesterday that you saw too is I immediately speak of their picture as a wish list or an inspiration. And I want to let them know we're going to tailor or co-create a look together. Because I'm not going to make you look like Jennifer Aniston. We want to make sure we're giving you the right services and products that fits you, that gets you close to your wish list. But I do make sure that that's part of my verbiage from the get-go, is that it's wish list, inspiration photo, so that they know it's not for sure what they're going to leave with. But then again, to immediately back that up with not just service solutions, but product solutions, and set yourself up to say, during the consultation or during the rest of our service, I'm going to interrupt you a few times. I'm going to show you what products I'm using and how to use them, because I want to make sure you're able to recreate this at home.
And then it was wonderful, because at the back end of that consultation, you really, you started working this slide, which is coming into an agreement, not only around what we're going to do, but an agreement around the time and the investment. And you've got some extraordinary script guide. Talk about that piece.
Thank you. Not only is money important, but time's important, and people don't know how long it's going to take to go from one major color to a next. So I always make sure they know around what time element it's going to be, and I offer them the availability to discuss price. I don't want to assume what anybody's doing or what they can or cannot afford, but I bring that up very clearly, that it's integrity on behalf of the salon and myself, that we discuss this before I touch you with any chemicals today. And last night, Hannah didn't care. I kind of told her not to, so that me and her can discuss that further, because everybody's prices are different, but I wanted you all to hear how that language went.
And then it was wonderful because you ended the consultation just giving the client something to get excited about. And you've got some script there. I'm so excited about what we're doing today. Amazing. And then you pivoted to, I'm going to go and mix your color, but you gave her something to do that had, while you were gone. Talk about what that doing is.
Yeah, so clients can easily get scrolling into the deep black hole of social media. So when I'm taking that 5-10 minutes to formulate and mix our color, I wanted her to take additional time to like me on the other social media platforms I have. I do know, because I saw her client intake form and because she messaged me on Facebook ahead of time, that she already follows me on Facebook. At the beginning of my day, I plan in my jump journal or my social or summit planner, I know what they're following me on. Are they on my Facebook? Are they on my Instagram? So that's a conversation I can have later. So in Hannah's instance, she was not on my other resources, such as my Snapchat, my Instagram, and my Pinterest. So I invited her to follow me on all those resources while I mix my color. The other thing I do at the end is make sure that it's okay with them that I take a before picture. I set myself up to take an after picture. And now much more, I've been including them. I've been playing around a lot more with Snapchat and Instagram. And I okay that with them, that if it's okay that I play with my Snapchat, do a boomerang video, just of foils in their head and whatnot. And they're usually excited to play along because that's what they're watching when they're at home later.
Yeah, and I was holding some script up while you were chatting about that. The last slide, and then we'll wrap this up, is your the script for taking the pictures and using social digital. And I just wanted to make sure that our viewers had an opportunity to watch you and listen to you speak about that.
Yes. So again, just like yesterday, I set myself up. I explained to Hannah that she found me on Facebook, and I appreciate that. Just like you saw before and after pictures of my other guests, is it okay that I take a before picture and follow up at the end and take an after picture to post on my social media resources?
I love it. Well, we're at the back end of our interview, and we made history tonight. And we made history. We made history last night, right? So we want to make sure that we're expressing gratitude. But the whole idea that we're taking the power wheel now, and like this is our 120th episode, but it's almost like we're taking all the content and we're beginning to put it into a process. Where there's what do we do in bonding in the greeting, and we're going to be bringing you back for some of the tutorial on the greeting part. There's actually a social digital piece for that, and when the guest is processing, I don't want to give away the goodies tonight, but it's like every thing that we have on the power wheel. I'm going to see if I can just quickly find that so that we can kind of make that point. We now have a place. Whoop! Did I get it? There we go. Yeah. So we've got script guides now, and you're helping us to put the script guides together for what do you say in the greeting, the consultation, the servicing, the finish, and the evolving, as it relates to social media. So social media, social digital has, in fact, it is now part of our chairside manner. It's a part of the guest experience. It's a part of branding ourselves. And it's just, it's an honor and a privilege to have you part of our team to collaborate and really bring this together. So I just wanted to thank you tonight. And I want to tell the guests that are watching, if you love this, there's more to come, because we're going to be doing a lot more tutorials with you as our guest.
There is way more to come. We're excited.
Nice.
And I know it's overwhelming. Social digital can get overwhelming. So we're hoping to streamline that and make it easier for everybody else.
All right. Well, thanks a lot again. And you and I will continue the conversation. So I'm going to say goodnight to you now. I'll talk to you later, and then I'm going to finish the show. And so have a good evening.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Give it up one more time, you guys, for Patty. It was wonderful. Wasn't that extraordinary? Wasn't that extraordinary? You can see now that I think, in my humble opinion, that all of the work that we've done in this 112th episode, it's all starting to come together. It's no more, an idea here, an idea there, an idea here, an idea there. We now are taking the Power Wheel, which has been with us that thing is just around 30 years old. I mean, we wrote our first book on that in 1986. You do the math. But now we're using this, bringing in our mobile devices and bringing in social media and bringing in photo shoots and doing videos so that our guests can watch something that we want them to have. And so we're beginning to place all of the social digital content in that 45-minute, 1 hour process, so that this now is becoming the #1 tool that we're going to call the Extraordinary Social Digital Guest Experience. And tonight was just a warm-up for that. So just an extraordinary evening. Let's give it up for Maddie one more time. It was just nothing short of historical. If you are new to us, I just want to invite you. If there's no better time to be hanging out on this page, that the social digital training that we've done over the last 2 years of this episode, it took a profound leap. And so it's really going to evolve. So you're going to want to stay very, very close to the conversations that we're going to be bringing you henceforth. And this page is Michael Cole Summit. It's on Facebook. That's where the blogging is happening. And then you can hang out on Michael Cole Summit, same call out handle on Instagram as well. If you are a Summit Salon, there would be no better time than to really stay close to our new social media coaching team, because all that coaching now is happening online, and you can call Summit's 800 number to get information on that. You can continue to go into summitsalon.com/MCLive and watch all of the interviews that we have done up until now. So this is just going to continue to evolve. Social media now is moving at a very, very, very fast clip, the evolution of it. The social media, now I'm going to call it the Social Media Summit Planner, because that planner now is as responsible for helping us to fill openings in the book through posting as it is, in the good old days a couple of years ago, it was all about upselling. And now that's taken a pivot as well. Stay close and begin using all of our mobile calculators, which you can you just get to summitsalon.com and you can see all this stuff is at no charge. So it because of L'Oreal PPD sponsoring the summit, we're able to do that. So last but not least, I always love to express gratitude to L'Oreal Professional Product Division. These are the brands. From Redken Purology to Matrix, L'Oreal Professional, Kerastase, Baxter, Essie. When you use and purchase and encourage your guests to do that, those proceeds are what we are paid to continue to create the content that we're creating for you and innovating it. So please support those lines. And of course, thank you Salon Centric, thank you State, thank you RDA. These are the distribution arms. And of course, my beloved partners at Summit Salon Business Center. So great program. We'll pick it up where we left off next week. Great show. Have a good evening. And I shall say good night.